Hello, hello, and welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another live stream, and perhaps not the one that we would like to have in the context of a conversation, but we're here and we want to know that you are safe and you will remain safe. And so we want to share the updates that we have as well as hear from you, all right, in the context of what is happening, all right, in the regarding the hurricane warning that is in effect for Jamaica. So, tropical storm Melissa is still on track, and the last update that I got was that it was nearing to a category 2 hurricane. So, it means that the system has strengthened, and again, we want to ensure that everyone is keeping safe. And so we're doing our part here as the Voices in Education community to ensure that we share with you and, we keep you posted. So as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. And let us just continue to grow stronger together so we can just share the updates as they come along. All right, so come on, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and let's keep this one going. I am also going to open the WhatsApp line, all right, just to get some information from you as well. So it's going to be very interactive in the context of this conversation. So as you come in, let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear there in the chat. So in a little bit, I'll be in the chat. I'm not seeing any comments just yet. All right, so I'm not seeing any comments just yet, but in a little bit, again, I'll be there in the chat. So I am just trying to get the WhatsApp line up and running, but it's not ready yet, guys. It's been a minute since I've used this system, but I think I hear it coming up. So let's see. All right, I think it's up. So we're going to do that. So let me just check in the chat there just to make sure, all right, that you're hearing me loud and clear. So I'm not seeing any comments just yet in the chat. So come on, guys. You have to comment to let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear there in the chat. So let me just try it out on my end. Loud and clear. So it seems to be working over on this side. So we're going to get into the update. So hopefully as you enter, you will, be able to just follow along. I know for those of you who are over there in the WhatsApp group, I shared some information with you earlier and I had promised to come live just to share some more information with you. So, it is my understanding that members of parliament have been given an allocation for care packages. All right. So, if you're in dire need and you need some supplies to take you, right, throughout this system, the hurricane, the pending hurricane at this moment. We are hoping that it will make a U-turn and just, find just go away, all right? Not necessarily to go somewhere else, but to just disappear. But it is what it is. Please take the necessary steps to remain safe. Stay safe, everyone. Listen to the warnings. And I've heard a member of parliament, and I'm going to play that. So a member of parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zalika just shared earlier that some people are just not taking it seriously, and we want to do that because we want to ensure that we remain safe. And so now I am getting an update that Hurricane Melissa, so it's now Hurricane Melissa, has intensified to a Category 2 storm with maximum sustained winds of 100 mph, all right, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, all right, and this report came in at about 7 p.m. All right, so just to let you know that the storm is still moving, and I'm going to try to pin that little information there in the chat. All right, so that you guys can see that as well. So guys, it's really important for us to for us to keep safe, right? Check in on your family members, especially and members within your community, and especially if they're not able to take care of themselves, you want to ensure that you are checking in. All right. So again, please do that, and you want to ensure that you are keeping safe as well. All right, I'm just trying to put the WhatsApp number there in the chat as well as the update so that you can give us a call. So I'm pinning that information there at the top of the chat there so that you can see. Tech Gaming, Maxine, welcome, welcome, welcome. And definitely prayers must go up because it is definitely important. And the thing about this hurricane is that it's moving slow, all right? And I think that's the danger in having a system moving this slow, all right? The likelihood of it, strengthening over time. And so that is the situation as far as I know. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. So ensure that you take the necessary steps to protect yourself, all right? And that is definitely important. So I just start a poll there in the chat just so that we can, maintain the interactions here. Are you prepared for the hurricane? All right, so on to some other things that I believe is going to be important for you, in the context of this hurricane. And again, we will be keeping you posted as best as we can. And as I just shared, I don't know if you got that, member of parliaments, they have gotten, some allocation regarding, care packages, medication. So if you're in dire need, reach out. And please do not reach out if you're not in need. All right. So remember, we have people who are vulnerable who require, these support. So we want to ensure that the people who require the support, they're getting the support. So if you're not in need, then I'll say, leave it for people who really, really need it, because that is definitely important. All right, so in that context as well, as I promised, I am going to share some updates. So in the context of the airports, all right, so my understanding is that Norman Manley is closing this evening, and Montego Bay, I believe, by 12 o'clock tomorrow. But I have a little communication here from the minister, all right, with responsibility for transport. So I'm just going to try to get that played via our system here. So welcome one, welcome all.
To that, I've had a conversation with Airport for today's scheduled flights. Subsequent to that, I've had a conversation with airports authorities before coming here, and a decision has been taken to close Norman Manley International Airport after the last flight that is scheduled to arrive in Jamaica at 8 p.m. tonight. So let me say that we would categorize it as 8 p.m. or the last arriving flight. So if the flight is delayed for any reason, it will be accommodated. But all flights will be accommodated today at both Norman Manley International Airport and Sangster International. So my recommendation for those of you who want to get back to Jamaica or to get out of Jamaica, try and change your arrangements to get out today, meaning Saturday. We will have a meeting at 2 p.m. today to discuss the closure of the Sangster International Airport, MBJ. So we will advise you after the 2 o'clock meeting today as to the closing time for that. This is important for many reasons, both for
All right, so my understanding in the context of the Montego Bay International Airport is that it's going to be closed by midday tomorrow, Sunday. All right, so that's my understanding there. So let's go back to the minister.
locals to get in and get out, but also for our tourism industry. So as we speak now, they are trying, the hotels are in communication through the Ministry of Tourism to communicate with the airlines to make sure that they increase their capacity loads in terms of the different planes and configurations to try and get out as many of those that are vacationing in Jamaica and want to get out, obviously, before the storm or the hurricane. So that in itself will bring clarity, and I hope that this message will go out far and wide. The next one is for JPS, and I have an update that I received minutes ago that I will share with you. At 9 o'clock this morning, there were 275 customers without electricity, broken down as follows: 95 customers in the west, 40 in central Jamaica, and 140 in eastern Jamaica. There are no widespread outages at this time. Each outage addresses on average 2 customers. The major cause of outages are trees on lines due to the high soil saturation levels. Approximately 550 persons are positioned and responding. This includes JPS employees, local contractors, and overseas line workers, for which I can confirm that 71 are actually in Ireland as we speak, which is a big difference from Hurricane Beryl. There are no major incidents currently on the electricity system. System is stable and JPS has been responding accordingly. So, as of right now, we have a stable electricity supply, and basically the number of outages as we speak on the eve of a storm or a hurricane is actually lower than when we are not in this mode. So I'll keep the country updated fully on that. The toll, we are waiting and expecting to give a directive to open the toll booths closer to the time of the storm or the hurricane. As of right now, the buildup is not bad. We are monitoring it, and I have already signed an order that just needs to be dated so that it can be effected immediately. So once we see it, and I suspect probably closer to Monday, with the big impact coming between Monday night and Tuesday, that would when the necessity would arise. But more importantly, I'm also giving a directive that once the storm or the hurricane passes, that we open the toll for emergency services and, of course, other persons who want to go to check on their family, their businesses, etc. So we have a pre and a post plan for tolls. JUTC is on standby in collaboration with ODPEM and the police to assist with evacuations, and I suspect the evacuations will become more and more necessary as the weather event gets closer and closer. So I can say that that also is in place. So as it relates to the telcos and Petrojam and all the other reports I gave in the days recently, all remain on standby. Everybody is in ready position. And the only thing that I would say before closing is to make an appeal to all Jamaicans. Do not take this lightly. It is coincidental that we had 37 years between Charlie and Gilbert, and 37 years exactly between Gilbert and Melissa. Those of us who are around for Gilbert know exactly what, but there's many that did not experience it. So I'm saying to you, safety is priority, and being smart helps a lot. Don't make foolish decisions. Don't make stupid decisions like coming out in the middle of the storm to see what's happening. Please, I'm making a special appeal because we are in a very, very serious time over this next few days. And we need all Jamaica to band together, and most importantly, prayers up, up, up for every single Jamaican and Jamaica, land we love. God bless Jamaica.
All right, so that was the minister with responsibility for, transport and energy. And so we spoke about, the Norman Manley International Airport, Montego Bay, also the toll, JPS, the toll road. So they have a pre and post plan in the context of the hurricane or the storm. And so that they have those things in place. They're also keeping a track of outages before, and I suspect that once the system hits, then that may become more widespread in the context of outages. So, as the minister shared there at the end, please, safety, take it seriously, all right? We want to do that. We want to ensure that everyone remains safe and checking on your family members, find out what is happening with them, even if you're overseas. And I know that now is a time when you want some connections. So, as a community that we have always been, and you could go back and check our record in Beryl, we're going to have this space where you can always call in so you can hear what is happening in different communities because that is important. And remember now, if the power should go, it means that, there may be limited access to phones and even the internet. And so we want to bear that in mind. So having this space where we can get a caller from, let's say, Westmoreland, Clarendon, at least you know what is going on and you have an idea to say, okay, the power is out. So perhaps that is why I'm not hearing from my family members and my friends. So again, we want to let you know that this space is going to be here where we can, check in and just find out what is happening. Tech Gaming, thank you, thank you. And we're happy that we're able to provide, this update for sure. All right, so that's one aspect of it there in the context of, what's happening and just the level of preparedness. I can say that, the country, the government, of course, they have taken this seriously, and we all need to take this seriously. So prioritize safety. All right, we don't want to do anything stupid because that is definitely not going to help us in a situation like that. So we want to ensure that we're keeping safe as best as we can. So right now I'm just checking in for some more updates just to see. But as you know, oh, your family, okay, is in Clarendon. All right, so we're in Clarendon Tech Gaming, so and you can kind of give us a sense of what's going on in that part of Clarendon. All right, so again, it is always important for us to just check in and just to know what is going on. And a lot of us, we're going to be worried, and so we want to hear from you. All right, Kenroy, welcome. And Kenroy is saying we're here again for another hurricane in 2025. Good night to you. Thank you for your great reporting and keeping us all informed. You're definitely welcome, Kenroy. Can you remind me, where you're tuned in from? So, guys, the WhatsApp number is pinned in the chat there. So if you want to give us a call too, you can. But before you do that, if you're going to call, I'm just going to go to an update from the Member of Parliament there in Northeast St. Elizabeth. But I'm also checking other updates because we have quite a lot of updates coming in. And these updates are definitely important because we want to ensure that, we are, keeping safe. This is definitely important. All right, Mapen. All right. They told me, okay, raining is on and off. All right. So Kenroy from Belize. All right, Yardi Conscious, welcome. And Yardi Conscious straight out Clarendon there is saying no rain yet. All right. So that's good. So what's the feeling like in terms of preparation? What are you seeing happening in the context of your community? What's going on there? You can let us know that as well. But as promised, I am going to go to the Member of Parliament from Northeast St. Elizabeth, and she had an update that I want to share. All right, so we're going to go to this update.
Updates again. But so I've been driving around and checking on as many persons as I possibly can, and as is expected, the requests at this point are pretty much the same. Most of you have been asking me about care packages and food items in preparation for the storm. So I'm happy to advise you that as a constituency, we have just been allocated an additional sum of $1.5 million to assist with care packages, tarpaulins, medication, and the likes. So I'm just doing this very quick video to let you know that I just got that information. So we're jumping on it and we're making arrangements with suppliers so that we can have some packages prepared and hopefully we can start the distribution as soon as possible. So I'll keep you posted in terms of how the distribution will be done. Obviously, we have to move fast. Time is against us, so I'm going to be doing that distribution by utilizing the councillors as best as I possibly can. Because the constituency is big. I can't get to all of you by myself, and I don't expect you to be able to come to the office in Santa Cruz at this critical time. So reach out to the council if you are in need. I will make packages available to be distributed to them. Clearly, $1.5 million cannot buy enough food for everybody. So if you really don't need a care package, I'm going to ask you to please leave it for those who really do, in fact, need it. So yeah, that's where we are. For those of you who don't have access to the councillors, as usual, you can reach out to me and I will do my very best to make the necessary arrangements for you. All right, so that's it. Thank you. But guys, before I go, please, I'm begging you, because I'm driving around and I'm realizing that so many of you, you're not taking this storm serious. You're not taking the system serious. I am begging you, please don't take the 1 year lightly. Prepare, make the necessary arrangements for safeguarding yourselves, your family, your property. Do not take this lightly.
All right, so there you heard it from the Member of Parliament there in Northeast St. Elizabeth. Do not take it lightly. So we're all echoing the same sentiment. This is not about politics, this is about life. And we do not want you to take it, as if it's not serious. Take it seriously, prioritize your safety, check in on your friends and family members. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? It's better to prepare and it just turn back or go somewhere else, not really somewhere else, but you know what I mean? Just disappear than for it to hit us and we're not ready. All right. And the next thing, if you get any evacuation orders, please listen. Please move. If the authorities tell you to leave, leave. Vacate the area, leave. Do not say you're going to stay because it means that you could be putting yourself in danger and even others too, because security people will be out there. So leave. So just listen, obey the orders as they come, stay tuned to the updates, and again, make the necessary adjustments that you need to if required, because that's going to be important. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, we're just here talking and we want to hear from you. All right, in the context of, what is happening in your community and in the context of preparations. All right, and so just to let you know that a hurricane warning remains in effect for Jamaica, and if you're in a flood prone area, low lying community, or vulnerable to landslides, evacuate to safer ground immediately. All right. And you want to ensure that you're staying off the roads during rain and avoid crossing flooded areas. All right. That is definitely important. All right. So you want to ensure that you're keeping safe. Dalton, welcome. And I totally understand that, Dalton, but try your best to check in with those of who you can and do what you can from a distance, all right? And take game in there. Yes, now is the time for us to just keep praying because that's going to be significant. That's going to be important in the context of this update, in the context of this pending hurricane. All right. So again, you want to ensure that you're keeping safe. All right. And we're also going to share some more information with you in the context of your parish disaster coordinator. I'm going to send that information in the WhatsApp group, all right, so that you can have access. So each parish, they have a disaster coordinator and the contact numbers are listed. So in the event that you need to reach out to this person, then you're able to do that. So I am just going to share that in the WhatsApp group right now so that you can have access to this information. Again, we're continuing to share with you critical information that you'll need to ensure that you're keeping safe during this time. So I just share that information in the WhatsApp group. So if you're not in there, just send me a message on WhatsApp and we'll add you or just share the information with you as well. But that is why we maintain a WhatsApp group. It's easier to connect with people so you have the information and you can share. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome all as we are here trying to give you some updates. So, Dalton, if you want to share, what is happening, where your family members are based on whatever updates you have, that helps in the context of us having an idea of what's happening in, different parts of the country. Again, welcome one, welcome all. So I am just going to check now with the Met service to see what their latest update is. So I am not seeing one here listed, but what I can show you. Oh, Dalton, yes. With schoolboy football, it's kind of tricky this season. But we're doing updates, and some people have reached out, that wanting us to do the commentary, but because such station is also live streaming on YouTube, but people have been saying, the commentary is off, they're not even commenting, they're not even doing commentary, and we would do great in that space, but for sure we want to give an update, especially in the context of the first sets of games, set of games in the round of 16, especially the Cup and Kemsil there. We need to talk about that. But right now, we had to shift focus to what is happening in the context of this hurricane, which is now a category 2 hurricane. All right, guys. So if you're not aware of that, it is now a category 2 hurricane. And based on the speed of the system, it is projected to hit Jamaica Monday into Tuesday. So that's the projection there. But it doesn't mean that we should be taking the system lightly, because it is not. All right. And so you want to understand that as well. All right. So just to let you know that it is now a category 2 hurricane, and we want to be taking that, very, very seriously. All right. I am just checking here for some updates in the context of what's happening, and I want to just share with you a screen. So that is what I'm trying to get ready for you. But welcome one, welcome all. In a little bit I'll be back in the chat just to let you know what's going on. All right, so Justin, welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone is trying, well, let's say hopefully everyone is trying to prepare and, for this hurricane and to keep safe. That's the hope. All right, so that's definitely the hope there. And I believe and that's what I've been saying there, Justin. It's going to be, it can be dangerous because it's moving this slow, and because of that, it is strengthening. All right, so that's the tricky part of it there. But let's continue to keep the faith. Let's continue to pray that it will just disappear, because that's what we would like. But we must also understand that we need to prepare, we need to ensure that we're being safe, and we just need to listen to the updates and obey. All right? Come on, now is not the time to go against. If you get an order to leave, please leave. All right? Dalton is sharing. Okay, your family is in St. Anne. Okay, okay. All right, and yeah, for sure. So if it gets to that point, and perhaps that's where it's going to be when it reaches over Jamaica, a Cat 4 or 5. And because it's moving so slowly, then that becomes, a little bit problematic. And so we want to ensure, again, guys, that we're keeping safe. That is definitely important. I cannot overemphasize the need for us to keep safe. That is definitely important. All right. So, again, welcome one, welcome all. I'm just checking for an update here, and then I'm going to try to show you. I don't know if that picture is going to do anything good for us, but just for you to see what's happening there. So I'm just going to get on this one here. And we'll see what happens in this context. But welcome one, welcome all. We're so happy to have you guys here with us. Let us know where you're tuned in from, and also, let us know what is happening in the context of where you're tuned in from. So how do you believe the preparations are going? Do you believe that people are taking it seriously? What's your understanding of what is happening? All right. So again, if you're just tuning in, Hurricane Melissa is now a Category 2 hurricane, and it's still on track, all right, to affect Jamaica, and it's moving pretty slowly, and so that's where the problem comes. So that's where the danger is, because it's moving slowly. All right, so we want to ensure that we're making, taking the necessary steps to be informed and to stay protected. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. We are so happy to have you here. And I'm just going to try and share with you a photo from, well, some images here from the Met Office of Jamaica. So I am trying to get that up on screen if I can. Let's see here. And let's see if this works. You should be seeing that on screen, hopefully. All right, so that's an image there from the Met Office, all right, in Jamaica there. And as you can see, the red there, I suppose, based on the key, means very dangerous. And so again, we are here and we are trying to connect you in the context of the information that is available to ensure that you are staying informed, and you are also keeping safe, because that's going to be very important. All right, not seeing any new comments there in the chat, but again, we're here, and now is really trying to connect you, as we shared in WhatsApp, numbers, information. So even if we're not live, we're going to continue to share those updates with you over there in the WhatsApp group, so you can stay informed. But we'll definitely be coming back live, and especially in the peak of it, as best as we can when we can, and we'll try to keep you posted in that way as well, because information is definitely important. And we have also seen videos coming out of places such as Westmoreland and Portland, where they have been feeling the effects of the, I guess at that point, the tropical storm, but obviously Melissa. And so, in that context, we want you to know that you should take it seriously. All right? You should take it seriously. So again, just to let you know that Norman Manley International Airport is going to be closed tonight after the last flight comes in, and then the Sangsters International Airport in Montego Bay, based on what we have been updated on, is going to be closed tomorrow at noon. All right. So again, it's giving people, especially there in the tourism capital, time to leave Jamaica, if they need to, in that context, and also to ensure, that everybody is safe, because at some point flights won't be possible anymore. So that is also important for us to know. Again, if you're just tuning in, Hurricane Melissa is now a category 2, all right, system. And so you want to ensure that you have all the necessary things that you need. So your important documents, ensure that you package them in, plastic bags, just to ensure that if there's any water, things are safe. Try to know where those things are. And again, your life is important. So if you need to move without all those, just leave. All right. Again, prioritize safety, safety, safety. And it's better for us to be prepared than not to be prepared. And then, we're just in a state of confusion, don't know what to do. So ensure that you have the resources that you need. Expecting mothers, if you know that you're near that time, please ensure that you try to move closer to the hospital. Try to find somewhere, contact your doctor to find out what's the best way. That's also important there. All right. Again, these things are important, so we want to ensure that we're thinking about all these things, and again, our safety, because that is absolutely important. So let me just take a quick check in here in the chat, just to see if there are any new updates. So not seeing any new updates there in the chat just yet. But again, welcome one, welcome all. So I am just going to find some additional updates for you guys just to share. But again, you want to keep safe. So stock up on your items that you know is going to be important in the event that you lose power. You have something to eat. If you require medication, ensure that you have the supply that you need. That is definitely important as well. And if you are not able to support yourself in those ways, so food, you might need medication, you might need something else, please reach out to your member of parliament or your councillor, because they should have connections to the member of parliament so that you can access care packages. All right, so just to let you know that. And, church groups, organizations, remember, family, friends, remember the vulnerable in your community. I shared also some drop-in shelters for people, for the different parishes earlier. So that is in the WhatsApp group as well. So again, we are going to share the resources with you. Once they come our way, we're going to do that. So again, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, we're happy to provide you with some updates. All right. So again, the hurricane warning remains in effect for Jamaica as Melissa begins to rapidly intensify. Now it is a category 2 hurricane. And so you want to ensure that, you are well taken care of. So I'm going to go to an update from Minister Mackenzie. All right. And let's just go to that update.
I want to start off by saying that Jamaica is in the top 5 most disastrous countries in the world. We sit in the middle of the earthquake fault line, and we are exposed
to natural disasters. The pending impact of Melissa is not something that as a country we should take lightly. And even yesterday, with some fellow Jamaicans, their argument is that we are a God-blessed country and we are gifted and the system will pass. Well, the Bible also reminds us that God helps those who help themselves. And I believe that we are at a point now where the government, the Ministry of Local Government, through the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, will have to take the necessary steps to ensure that we put in place the systems which exist that gives us the powers under the Disaster Act to ensure that Jamaicans comply and Jamaicans do what is necessary. Later on this afternoon, I'll be meeting with all the mayors. And one of the areas of concerns that has been brought to my attention, and I did a few surveys across the corporate area this morning, that there are several major construction sites that still has materials, sand, gravel, steel, and in some cases, cranes still hanging in the air. Going to make a general appeal this morning to all construction sites, not just only in the corporate area, but right across the country, that they must start to take the necessary steps to remove cranes, steels, sand, blocks, which will only contribute more to the blocking of our drains and can have devastating effects on individuals, people's property, and can result in extreme damage. Billboards should be taken down. And this is the work of the municipal corporations. So I'm saying that all billboards should be taken down at this time and put in a safe place. You still have used car operators who continue to use the public thoroughfare to display their vehicles, park them overnight, just to advise that a team of wreck operators is presently combing the streets of the corporate area. And where we find these vehicles, we are going to remove them and take them to the Riverton City dump. We cannot afford to create human missiles that will hurt persons during this period. I am asking for the cooperation of those persons that I have just outlined a while ago. There has been some controversy coming from the opposition as it relates to the funds that they are claiming that they have not gotten to spend. And I want to spend a couple of minutes on it because I don't want the country to believe that this administration or myself as the minister in any way is playing politics with emergency. The municipal corporations by law is required to hold a percentage of the parochial revenue funds that they have. And the purpose of that is to respond to emergencies. Those funds should not be spent unless an emergency such as the one we are experiencing now is happening. And they are required to seek the permission of the ministry to spend those funds, because previously, before, that funds were used to do other things outside of emergencies. And in fairness to some of the MCs, they have been using the SGR, and they have said it publicly in response to the call. Some have not, because they have exhausted the SGR on other issues that are not emergency related. And they are therefore looking to the Ministry of Local Government to supplement what they have used outside of what is required. Funds have been earmarked. They were advised that they could use 2 months of the parochial revenue funds for drain cleaning. And I want the country to understand that the municipal corporations generate their own source of revenues that they can spend at their own leisure, that the ministry has nothing to do with. So the municipal corporations can find funds to do the work that is necessary. And I note that the opposition have mentioned that based on the survey that they did, all of the municipalities have said that they are not in a position for us to welcome Prime Minister. And I note that it is said that some of the municipalities are not in a position to do it. All of them, the release said. But at least 5 municipalities that are controlled by the opposition has come out publicly to say that they have undertaken drain cleaning exercise and they are in a state of readiness. I want to say to the country this morning that this administration takes seriously the question of our preparedness for disaster. And we will work across the board to ensure that we provide quality service to the people and to ensure that the people's business is taken care of. So let me repeat again that the municipal corporations are in a position. There are 13 levels of fees that they are collecting, that they have control over those 13 layers of fees. The only ones that is controlled by government in terms of the Ministry of Finance is the PRF, which is a proceeds of the revenues from motor vehicle licensing and fees, which we get 66 and a third %. And on submission of your program, the funds are released, and the determination of the amount that the MCs get is not determined by the Ministry of Local Government. It comes directly from tax office. They get property taxes. They get trade license, which are a significant amount of revenues. So they are in a position to do what is necessary. I'd like to therefore now touch on two critical areas of our preparedness as we get deeper into the hurricane. Already, I would have written to the Most Honorable Prime Minister on the advice of the Director General of ODPEM under the Disaster Risk Management Act to make a declaration, which the Prime Minister did yesterday. Jamaicans, there is another request I'll be putting in writing to the Prime Minister for his consideration. That based on the extent of the system, there are vulnerable communities in Jamaica that it is advisable that persons do not remain in these communities during the passage of the hurricane. Provisions are made in the Disaster Risk Management Act for compulsory evacuation. Places like Rocky Point in Clarendon, Taylor Land in Bull Bay, New Haven, Riverton City, and many other communities that will be affected, where lives will be threatened. I will therefore be writing to the Prime Minister based on the recommendations of the Acting Director General of ODPEM that we take those steps to advise those communities of the intent to declare this order. But I want to make an appeal to persons who are living in these communities. Port Royal is one such community that is of concern, that you can start to make arrangements to move and go and spend time with relatives and friends. It is in your interest that this is done. And I want to say this, and I have to speak, Prime Minister, because this is how I am. It is going to be impossible when the event comes, after all the efforts that you would have made, to say to our first respondent, go to point A and point B, to put their lives at risk when persons refuse to move before. And I want to urge Jamaicans, do not take this for granted. We have already removed the residents of 3 infirmaries that sits on the mouth of the river of the sea in St. Ann, Hanover, and Trelawney. Those residents have been removed to safe grounds, and we are presently removing the homeless population from the streets and placing them in shelters right across the country. The Ministry of Local Government and ODPEM is in a position, Prime Minister, to provide relief supplies when necessary, Prime Minister. We have a team here in Jamaica from Sedema, which came in over the last 2 days, which is helping us in our communication system and is here to give support to the team on the ground. The government is doing all that it can within its powers, but the greater effort has to come from the people themselves. And I want to use my presentation this morning to urge Jamaicans to take this seriously. Do not gamble with Melissa. It's not a safe bet. I urge Jamaicans to think about themselves first. I hope and pray that God will grant us the strength and the courage, and that He will smile on us and be gracious to us over the next couple of days. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Mackenzie there, and as you perhaps would recognize, the message is the same right across the board. Ensure that you keep safe. Do not gamble with this system. And if you get the order to leave, please leave. It's in your best interest in the context of safety. And we do not want our first responders to be risking their lives as well. So you want to ensure that you are doing that in that context. I see that we have a few people here in the chat. Can you let us know where you're tuned in from, what is happening in your community, or if you're overseas, what is happening in Jamaica based on updates that you have received? That will help us to get a better sense of what is happening, and also to let you know that we'll be here as best as we can if and when the system is passing over Jamaica, just so that we can have this space where we can connect and hear from people. It worked in Beryl, and where people were able to get a sense of what is happening in their community, just to get out of that space of worry, and especially to the people who are overseas and you have your family and friends in Jamaica. We are going to be having this space where, we can check in with each other. So if you have an update based on, the area that you're associated with, we encourage you to share with us so that others too can get an understanding of what is happening. Again, this helped us in the past to just kind of lower, anxiety levels, so that people understand that, okay, this area is without power. So this is why you're not hearing from, friends and family members. And, that help. And so we are encouraging you to consider doing the same this time around. And so we will be back in that context, and we'll continue to post updates over in the WhatsApp group as well. So if you're not in that group, you can send me a message over on WhatsApp. The number is pinned at the top of the chat there, and we will add you to the group. So once there is any updates from this community, you will be able to get the updates. All right. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is not a system, as we have been told, to gamble with. All right. You want to ensure that you're taking the necessary steps to keep safe and to prioritize, yourself during the passing of, Hurricane Melissa. At this point, it is now a Category 2 hurricane. And as you can see from the image on screen there, courtesy of the Met Office of Jamaica, and you see the red there. So we'll be in that zone tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and also Tuesday. So I suspect that the system is going to be Monday into Tuesday, and perhaps Tuesday is when it will intensify over Jamaica. And so again, if it is at a category 2 now, and because it's moving so slowly, it can become dangerous. And so we want to ensure again that we're listening to the updates and making the necessary adjustments based on the updates that we receive. All right. Again, take the necessary steps to ensure that you remain safe. All right. And if you have questions, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp. We'll try our best to direct you to your parish coordinator, and we share that in the WhatsApp group as well, or, to your MP, again, your counselor, whatever it is that they're doing. Now is the time to make those connections. Remember, if the system is passing, stay inside. Try not to go outside to figure out what is going on. Leave those videos, just stay inside as best as you can. If you're in a community, so the people in like Rocky, Portland Cottage, Olava Bay, I guess Faka Beach, where else? Wherever you are that you believe is unsafe, do not wait for the waters to come or whatever to come. Now is the time to move to higher ground. All right, now is the time to do that, or to safer ground. All right, so that is definitely important. um if you believe you're sick and you're going to need medical attention, try to go as close as possible to the hospital. See if you can connect with a family member or friends. That is also important for mothers who are expecting. You want to do the same too. Ensure, hopefully, you would have connected with your doctor to know, what you need to do, and all of that. So those things are definitely important for us to take into consideration. And of course, check in with your family members. Ensure that you charge up your devices. If you have power banks, for sure. If you're using candles and all those things, in the event that the power should go, you want to ensure that you're watching, you're vigilant, all right? So we don't want any situations, unfortunate situations where that is concerned. So again, safety is very, very important. All right, so guys, we're going to wrap this one up, but I'm going to just check one last time to see if I'm receiving any new updates on my end. All right, so just give me a moment. And I know in Westmoreland with the MP Vaz, and guys, we just need to get it right. All right, we just need to get it right, and again, just keep safe, because that is definitely, definitely important. All right, we just need to get it right and just keep safe as we try to weather this storm, hurricane. All right, and based on what we have heard so far, this one is going to be a tough one, and so it is definitely important for us to ensure that we are keeping safe, because that is important. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome. And just an update here from the National Hurricane Center on Melissa. And they're advising that, Melissa is strengthening, and life-threatening and catastrophic flash flooding and landslides expected in portions of southern Hispaniola and Jamaica into early next week. All right, so again, we just want to keep safe. That is definitely important. So what we're getting is that we're expecting some heavy rain and damaging winds that will bring about, flooding and landslides. And we perhaps from those events, we're expecting severe damages and long outages. All right, so those things are likely. And you are being advised now to finish all preparations immediately. All right, again, we cannot overemphasize the importance of keeping safe in the context of this hurricane, which from the last update that was hurricane category 2. All right, hurricane. So again, you want to ensure that you are keeping safe because that is definitely important. And I talked about the airports already, and that is also important for you if you have friends or family members traveling. So I gave you that update already. So again, that is something that you should ensure that if you're moving out, and sometimes you might just need to go to the airport to check to see if they have flights available. All right. So just like going to the airport itself. So I'm just checking with OddPem now to see what updates they have. And so pretty much HODPEM is pretty much confirming what I've shared, that a hurricane warning remains in effect for Jamaica as Category 2 Hurricane Melissa continues to strengthen. At 7 p.m., the center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 16.5 degrees north, longitude 75.6 degrees west. All right. And so this is about 168 kilometers or 105 miles southeast of Moran Point, or 210 kilometers or 130 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa is moving slowly toward the west near 6 kilometers per hour or 3 miles per hour. A slow westward motion is expected tonight and through the weekend. A turn to the north and northeast is forecast on Monday and Tuesday. All right, so we'll see how that goes. And we'll continue to keep you posted in the context of these updates. All right. And what we're getting here is that Melissa is forecast to become a major hurricane by Sunday and is expected to be a major hurricane tomorrow and is expected to still be a major hurricane when making landfall in Jamaica early next week. All right, so again, we want to keep safe and we want to keep posted. All right. So on the forecast track, the center of Melissa is expected to move closer to Jamaica during the weekend and over the island on Tuesday. As the hurricane moves closer, expect tropical storm force winds to initially affect the island, mainly over eastern parishes by tonight, with hurricane conditions expected by Sunday or Monday. Life-threatening storm surge is becoming more likely along the south coast of Jamaica later in the weekend or early next week. Peak storm surge heights could reach 7 to 11 feet above ground level near and to the east of where the center of Melissa makes landfall. This storm surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. All right, small craft operators, including fishers on the quays and banks, are strongly advised to remain in safe harbor until all warning messages have been lifted and wind and sea conditions have returned to normal. All right, the Met Service continues to closely monitor the progress of Hurricane Melissa, and all interested are encouraged to pay special attention to further releases. All right, the next bulletin on this system will be issued at 11 p.m. today. So 11 p.m. Jamaica time. So yes, guys, we will pay attention to that bulletin. So this is bulletin number 33. All right, so and this was issued at 8 p.m. All right, so the next bulletin will be at 11 p.m. So we will keep you posted. All right, so we'll update you over there on WhatsApp as best as we can. All right. So again, yes, guys, that is it right now for the updates. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Dalton, I totally get it, but let's just continue to pray and see how best you can connect with your friends and family members. The next bulletin is at 11 p.m., so maybe before there or something like that. We might just come up again and do a quick update in the context of this live just to see what is happening and how best we can share that information with you. So again, if you're over there on WhatsApp, that works, and I'm just going to put the WhatsApp number here in the chat there again. Send us a message on WhatsApp and we'll add you to the group just to keep you informed. And then once we're able to come live, we will also do that. So you want to ensure that you're sticking and staying with us for the updates. All right. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Blessings and love. Keep safe. All right. And we'll talk soon. All right. So again, guys, ensure that you hit the subscription button, turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. And of course, we will provide updates over on WhatsApp as well as they come in. And two, if you too have some updates, send us a message on WhatsApp so that we know what is happening and that we can share with others too. We have always relied on this community, and we know that this community is not the type of community to send us things that are not true and all of that. And that is why I love this space, because we keep it real and respectful, and in a time of uncertainty we can always come together and have this space where we can communicate and learn from each other and share with each other. So this space is definitely important. So until the next live or update, continue to keep safe. And again, if you get an evacuation order, please leave. All right, do not put up any resistance, because it's better to be safe than sorry. And as you can hear from all that we have heard from MPs or the government, the message is clear. Prioritize your safety. Do not gamble with Melissa. All right, this is not a bet. All right, we're not betting on Melissa. Ensure the only bet that we're going to bet on Melissa is to keep safe. All right, so the latest update is that Melissa is now a Category 2 hurricane. It is still moving slowly, and it is still expected to affect Jamaica, all right, within the next few hours. So we want to ensure that we're keeping safe. And few hours, I mean like Sunday, we might start seeing some impact. Monday, Tuesday, though, is really the projected date. So we'll definitely see what happens from the updates as they come in. Again, keep safe, and we will see you in the next live. Bye, everyone, and take care. Blessings and love.